crossroads within our nation's midst. Well, ignorance is...
Picture this, it's 1982. MTV is new, radio is gate-kept, and a flood of great rock bands slipped through the cracks. Not because the songs weren't there, but because timing, labels, and luck weren't on their side. Tonight, we fix that. We're counting down 15 forgotten 1982 rock bands who deserved more love, no repeats, one signature 1982 track each, and zero filler. You'll hear the jangly gems that should have been hits, the post-punk shadows that belonged on bigger stages, and the cult records that later bands quietly stole moves from. If you love guitar sparkle, moody bass lines, and choruses that stick after one play, this is your episode. We'll tell you why each band mattered in 1982, what made that one track special, and how they got lost in the noise. By the end, you'll have a fresh playlist and a new respect for the year that buried as many classics as it created. Before we dive in, sound off. Which 1982 rock band did you love that never got the push? Did college radio put you onto a group your friends still don't know? Drop your pick in the comments. I read them all. And if you're into deep cut rock history with heart, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next countdown. All right, needle to vinyl, volume up. Let's start at 15. New York, early 80s. The Fleshtones were the house band for 1,000 sweaty nights, too punk for pop radio, too tuneful for hardcore, and always in motion. Shadowline is their mission statement. It rides a Farfisa organ and hand-clap groove like a midnight train, then winks at literature. The title nods to Joseph Conrad's novella, The Shadowline. That sums up this band: smart, physical, and unpretentious. Their album Roman Gods dropped in January 1982 on IRS Records, produced by Richard Mazda, the same year they were storming stages and even turning up in the concert film A Music War. Why didn't it blow up? Because 1982 rock was splintering. AOR wanted big choruses, punk wanted speed, MTV wanted polish. The Fleshtones gave you sweat and joy. Sometimes the best party never makes the charts. If you caught them back then, where did you see the Fleshtones? And did Shadowline open the set or close it?
Hey, Rocklore community. Before we continue, let's have a real talk for a second, bro. You know, this isn't just a channel to us. And I hope it's not just a place you come to watch a video and then forget about it. This is a community. It's a place where we get to dig up the secrets of rock and roll, share our favorite riffs, and celebrate the artists who maybe didn't get the love they deserved. Right now, only about 1% of our viewers are subscribed. We can change that together and grow this community. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button with the notification bell on. When you do, you're not just helping a channel grow, you're becoming a member of the Rocklore family. You're signaling to us and to YouTube that these stories matter, that this music is worth preserving, and that this community is a place you want to be. Subscribing is your way of making sure you're always in the loop. It means you'll be the first to know when we unearth a forgotten legend, drop a new countdown, or dive into a piece of rock history you've never heard before. So if you're a true fan of the lore, if you get that same feeling of discovery that I do, then come join us. It takes 1 second to be a part of something bigger.
Picture a perfect pop song with sharp guitars and a bittersweet grin. That's the DBs. Amplifier first appeared on their second album, Repercussion, produced by a then up-and-coming Scott Litt, years before his REM run. The record was tracked at Power Station in New York and Ramport in London, and it sounds like it: crisp, modern, and ridiculously hooky. Here's the gut punch. The video for Amplifier got rejected by MTV for its suicide theme. In the video age arms race, that one decision hurt a band built for airplay, but listen to the writing. Peter Holsapple's melody, Chris Stamey's edge, the rhythm section snapping underneath. It's the missing bridge between Big Star Love and college radio liftoff. Do you prefer the taut original on repercussion or the later recut the band issued after Stay Me left? Tell us which version and why. Los Angeles, Paisley, underground blooming. The 3 o'clock show up in velvet bright color, chiming guitars, buoyant bass, and melodies that feel like sunshine after rain. With a Cantaloupe Girlfriend is the center of their debut EP, Baroque Hoedown, produced by Earl Mankey and released on Frontier Records in 1982. You can hear the whole scene in 3 minutes. 60s sparkle filtered through new wave rhythm and teenage wonder. They'd score college radio love the next year with 16 tambourines, but this EP is the seed. If you're tracing the family tree, Dream Syndicate, Rain Parade, Bangles, this track is an early branch worth climbing. Which Paisley Underground Starter Kit are you handing a friend in 2025? This EP, The Days of Wine and Roses, or Emergency Third Rail Power Trip? Drop your order of operations below. Scott Miller didn't write songs, he built puzzles you could sing. Game Theory's debut, Blaze of Glory, arrived in 1982 on the tiny Rational label, produced in part by Miller himself and packaged, no joke, in white plastic trash bags because the band couldn't afford proper sleeves. It's pure DIY America, brainy hooks tracked in bedrooms that somehow feel huge through headphones.
Should you follow her upstate, it's a long drive up.
Bad Year at UCLA is the tune you replay 3 times, then realize you've memorized every turn of phrase. College radio heard it first. Decades later, critics called Blaze of Glory a blueprint for college rock, and the album was lovingly reissued with demos and alternates.
It's so tough, need a little push, need a little slow.
But in '82, this was cult music, too clever for top 40 gatekeepers, exactly right for mixtape lifers. When you first heard this, did the lyric or the melody hook you? Quote your favorite line from Bad Year at UCLA in the comments.
Oh, Sally, let's look for baby.
Hoboken to London and back again, the Bongos stitched a transatlantic pulse into downtown pop. Their debut U.S. album, Drums Along the Hudson, 1982, pulled together earlier UK singles with production credits to Ken Thomas, Mark Abel, and the band itself. Right near the top, the Bulrushes, all nervous motion and bright guitars, the kind of track that keeps your feet moving while your brain hums the chorus hours later. Here's a cool footnote. The song was significant enough to be revisited in later reissues, evidence that even cult classics leave long shadows. It's also a time capsule of that fertile space between post-punk tension and pop gloss when small labels like PVC gave left-of-center bands a fighting chance. If you were programming an '82 indie club night, which 3 Hudson cuts would you spin around the Bulrushes? And would you open with In the Congo or close with it?
It's a science. Will it fool you once again? Now watch.
The Call's debut drops in 1982 with a simple promise: muscle, melody, and conscience. There's a Heart Here is the cut where you hear all 3. It's tight and urgent, new wave snap wrapped around heartland grit, tracked in England at Basing Street and The Manor, produced by Hugh Padgham. Yes, the big room ear behind early 80s giants.
Heart here, there's a heart here. Exposed, paraded, put on.
You can feel the punchy drum sound and the vocal up front like a band leaning across the stage to grab your collar. Released on Mercury Polygram, the LP plants the call on the map before The Walls Came Down, 1983, or Let the Day Begin, 1989, ever exist. The bones of those later anthems are already here. Big shoulders, bigger heart.
There's a heart here. Oh, there's a heart here.
Why It Didn't Explode, 1982 radio split between polished pop and hard AOR. The call were earnest and in between, too thoughtful for hairspray, too tough for soft rock.
I'm here, exposed, paraded, put on display.
That's exactly why the track ages well. Question, if you were programming early MTV, would this have been the one to break the call, or would you have led with doubt? Tell me your pick and why. A 4-minute foghorn cutting through Boston art punk weather. Trem 2 first lands as a 7-inch A-side in April '82, then reappears that fall on the band's full-length debut. Verses recorded January-April at Normandy Sound, produced by Rick Hart for Ace of Hearts. It's Burma's live chaos captured with intent. Martin Swope's tape loops smolder, Roger Miller's guitar drones like a wire under voltage. The rhythm section moves with a patient, heavy tread. It's hypnotic, and it hinted at the post-punk future college radio would soon embrace. Why It Didn't Explode, it was the opposite of radio shorthand, slow burn, textural, and defiantly art-damaged in an era racing toward neat choruses. Question, is Trem 2 Burma's definitive studio mood, or do you hear the band's true fire on the Horrible Truth live recordings? Drop your vote with one sentence of reasoning.
In the dark, so carry.
Open the album Miami, and the first thing you hear is a door into humid twilight. Carry home. Jeffrey Lee Pierce moans like a blues ghost. The guitars sway like heat over asphalt, and the rhythm lurches forward, half country, half punk. Chris Stein of Blondie produces, and Debbie Harry slips in backing vocals under the pseudonym D.H. Lawrence Jr. The star power is there, but the record stays raw by design. Tracked June '82 at Blank Tape in New York and issued on Animal Records, Miami sounds like a diner jukebox at 2 a.m. Cracked, bright, unforgettable. Why It Didn't Explode, it didn't want to. The Gun Club chased feeling over gloss, and Carry Home is feeling unfiltered. Question, if you're building a 3-song starter kit for a friend, does Carry Home sit first, followed by Like Calling Up Thunder, or do you save it for the closer? Tell me your sequence.
This video is sponsored by the Lore Store on Amazon, your one-stop shop for music lovers across reggae, rock, pop, and hip-hop. We built it for real listeners who don't want to dig through 1,000 listings to find the right gear. Inside the Lore Store, you'll find 5 aisles. VIP, top, battle-tested essentials, headphones, turntables, speakers, gig-safe earplugs, smart speakers. Reggae vibe, roots and lovers. Rock made easy, automatic decks, warm bookshelf speakers, vinyl care. Rock lore, classic rock must-haves, open back cans, simple amps, living room concert vibes. Pop lore, feel-good everyday setups, clean, clear speakers, easy streaming, nostalgia-friendly picks. Hip-hop must-haves, punchy bass without the muddle, closed-back headphones and living room systems that handle low end, plus a rotating crate of old album vinyl if you're rebuilding a 60s-90s collection. Every product page tells you who it's for, 3 pros, 1 con, and why we picked it. So you can choose with confidence. Flying soon? Check. VIP for noise canceling that tames plane roar. Mostly listening at home? Try open-back headphones that let live albums breathe. Want instant gratification vinyl? Our fully automatic turntable is 1 button from silence to music, and the record cleaning kit knocks down crackle so the bass tightens up. Headed to shows? Grab high-fidelity earplugs, hands-free at home. Our smart speaker picks let you say, play 70s reggae or classic pop, and you're there. Deal alert! If you use the link in the description, you'll land on our curated picks with current best available Amazon pricing and active discounts where applicable. Prices change, so buy now to lock in today's deal. Tap the link in the description, pick your aisle, grab a favorite, and tell me which category you want me to build next. The Lore Store. Listen better, with gear that gets out of the way and lets the music live.
See the light.
Take a dead boy, Stiv Bators, and a damned founder, Brian James, wire them to a rhythm section from Sham 69 and the Barracudas, and you get a sleazy, elegant monster. Open Your Eyes marries garage sneer, glam strut, and a Cold War TV glare, snapping you to attention with a chorus that still feels like a warning.
They're gonna get you when you're on your own. The silence of
Released in 1982 on Illegal IRS, the single charted across scenes: UK Indie number 7, US Mainstream Rock number 27, Canada number 34. Because it worked in clubs and on rock radio, the self-titled debut arrived that July, and this track was its darkly glittering banner.
when you're on your own. The silence of his spirit.
Why it didn't explode further: too goth for the jocks, too glam for the punks, too punk for pop programmers. In other words, perfect and hard to place. Question: what line from Open Your Eyes hits you hardest in 2025? And do you hear it as prophecy or parody? Quote it short and tell me which. Adrian Borland wrote like a man staring down a storm. On All Fall Down, October 82, the sound leaned into mood over market, recording March through August, issuing the album on Wee Korova, and deliberately avoiding the radio-friendly shine their label wanted.
And her face looks round for me.
Party of the Mind is the pulse at the center, bass line stalking forward, guitars throwing shadows, Borland trying to light a match in the wind. It's grand, haunting, and built for bigger rooms than they ever got.
There's a disturbance.
Why it didn't explode: the band chose the hard road, an uncommercial statement when the industry was begging for hooks. The cost was chart invisibility. The reward is a record that still sounds brave.
It's round for me.
Question: if you were their A&R in 82, would you have pushed Party of the Mind as the single or another track from All Fall Down? Make your case in 2 sentences. Close your eyes and picture a midnight city, empty streets, neon on wet pavement, a bass line walking like a lone figure with hands in pockets. That's After the Rain, the opening track to Fiction, 1982, the Comsat Angels' third album. They tracked it in May-June 82 at Strawberry Studios and Polydor's workshop rooms. Peter Wilson co-produced with the band. The sound is deliberate, drums kept tight and dry, synths like vapor, guitars drawing thin silver lines through the dark. It's less claustrophobic than their previous Sleep No More, but still moody enough to live in your head. The album barely grazed the UK chart at number 94 in September 82. A heartbreak for a band this sharp, but that under-the-radar fate is exactly why cuts like After the Rain feel like a secret you get to share. If you were programming late-night radio, would you open with After the Rain or save it for the last song before sign-off? Why?
And I'm gone. Pretty mates now.
Sometimes a single sounds like it was carved out of glass. Almost With You is that, a 12-string shimmer, a patient pulse, and Steve Kilby's lyric about closeness that always stays just out of reach. It landed April 20th, 1982 as the lead single from The Blurred Crusade, produced by Bob Clearmountain, and it became a genuine Australian hit, peaking at number 21 while the album climbed to number 10.
See the dust which fills.
The Sonics are immaculate without losing warmth, and you can hear how this band would influence a decade of guitars that chime rather than roar. If your picture of early MTV-era rock is all hairspray and machines, this track corrects it. Elegance, space, melody.
With you. Is this the taste of victory?
What's the one image this song paints in your mind? The color, the place, the weather. Tell me, then cue it up again and see if it changes.
That's impossible, that's impossible. 'Cause you're in New York.
The first riff is slightly odd, jazzy, almost dissonant, and then the chorus lands like a friend you didn't know you missed. San Francisco's Translator cut this with producer David Kahn for their debut LP Heartbeats and Triggers, released on the Columbia 415 partnership in 1982. College radio grabbed it with both hands, but mainstream charts didn't follow, which is wild when you hear how immediate it is.
I guess it's just someone who felt a lot like I remember.
There's a persistent myth that the song mourns John Lennon. The band has said that's actually a different track, Everywhere, on the same album. What Everywhere That I'm Not really captures is a specific ache, distance without drama, and it's why the tune keeps sneaking back into playlists 40 plus years later.
I thought I felt your touch in my.
If you were the A&R rep in 1982, what would your plan be to break this nationally? Video concept first, or a college radio to late night TV push?
When it's over, tell me.
Here's the Paisley Underground at its most electric and unsentimental, a velvet-leaning guitar drone that refuses to get pretty, a rhythm section that keeps dragging you forward, and Steve Wynn asking for an ending that never quite arrives.
Let me know when it's done.
Tell Me When It's Over opens The Days of Wine and Roses, 1982, produced by Chris D and released on Ruby Slash. Cracked in Los Angeles in September '82, the record balances noise and order so well that later reissues treat it like a cornerstone of college rock DNA. You can feel Tom Verlaine in the corners, but the band's own engine, Carl Prokota's lines, Kendra Smith's bass gravity, makes it more West Coast streetlight than New York loft. This wasn't built for pop charts, it was built to last. If you're handing someone the album for the first time, do you warn them it's raw or let the first minute of Tell Me do the talking? How do you sell it?
Hey, Rocklore community. Before we continue, let's have a real talk for a second, bro. You know, this isn't just a channel to us. And I hope it's not just a place you come to watch a video and then forget about it. This is a community. It's a place where we get to dig up the secrets of rock and roll, share our favorite riffs, and celebrate the artists who maybe didn't get the love they deserved. Right now, only about 1% of our viewers are subscribed. We can change that together and grow this community. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button with the notification bell on. When you do, you're not just helping a channel grow, you're becoming a member of the Rocklore family. You're signaling to us and to YouTube that these stories matter, that this music is worth preserving, and that this community is a place you want to be. Subscribing is your way of making sure you're always in the loop. It means you'll be the first to know when we unearth a forgotten legend, drop a new countdown, or dive into a piece of rock history you've never heard before. So if you're a true fan of the lore, if you get that same feeling of discovery that I do, then come join us. It takes 1 second to be a part of something bigger.
Before the big label LP, before the mythology, Rain Parade pressed a 7-inch that felt like a door opening, What She's Done to Your Mind, also seen on some references as Look What She's Done to Your Mind, arrived in 1982 on their own Llama label, a hazy, tuneful, gently pulsing single that made the Paisley Underground more than a scene, it made it a sound. You can hear the chemistry of Matt Piucci and David Roback immediately, melodies that float, guitars that glow at the edges, and a rhythm that sways rather than struts. The song later appeared in a different version on their 1983 debut LP, Emergency Third Rail Power Trip, but that first single is the spark.
Here, don't say I can see.
You want to understand why this movement still feels alive? Start here. Which version hits you harder, the raw single cut or the album take on Emergency Third Rail Power Trip? And what other first press singles from '82 deserve this kind of second life? The journey doesn't end here, Rock Warrior. Watch this next.